In this video, we'll see how to calculate the slope of a line. So if we look at these four lines here, the blue, the green, the orange, and the red, we can see that the blue line looks like it's the steepest line of those four. But the question is, can we put a number to that steepness? And that is what we're doing with slope. So please get this definition down. Slope is a rate of change showing the steepness of a line. So slope we talk about in a few different ways. Sometimes we call it the rise over the run, or we call it the change in the y coordinates over the change in the x coordinates. And then the formula for it would be the second y coordinate minus the first y coordinate over the second x coordinate minus the first. And we'll see some examples of this. So let's take a look at this graph. I want to calculate the slope of this line. And you see I've labeled four ordered pairs here. Well, one thing I can do on the graph when I want to calculate the slope is I could just look at how it's changing from one ordered pair to the next. If I go in the up direction, or if I go to the right, these are positive moves. And if I go down, or I go to the left, then this is negative. So to get from negative 3, 1 to 0, 2, you could see I go up 1 and I go to the right 3. And that happens to go from every point to the next point. From 0, 2 to 3, 3, I'm going up 1 and to the right 3. And from 3, 3 to 6, 4, I'm going up 1 and to the right 3. So if I want to calculate my slope, I say I'm going up 1, that's the change in y, and to the right 3, that's the change in x. Or going up 1, that's the rise, and going to the right 3, that's the run, how much we go across. But what if I went from negative 3, 1 all the way over to 3, 3? So now I'm going to go from this point here to this point here. How much do I have to go up? I'm going up 2. That's my rise. And then how much do I go to the right? I go to the right 6. But 2 over 6 we see is 1 over 3. What if I go from my first point again, negative 3, 1, all the way to my last point, 6, 4? Well, I'm going to go up 3. That's my rise. And now I have to go to the right 9 spaces. Well, again, that is equal to 1/3. This is a really important concept regarding slope. If I have a straight line, then the slope between any 2 points on that line will be equal. Doesn't matter what points you choose. The points will be equal as long as I have a straight line. All right, let's see another example here. I'm going to start at negative 3, 3, and I'm going to go to negative 2, 1. Well, I want to first see how much I'm going up or down. So to go from negative 3, 3 to negative 2, 1, I go down 2. And I go to the right 1. Well, going to the right is a positive direction, so I would say my slope is negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. You could write it like that. Some people wonder, well, what if I choose different points and instead of going from the left to the right, I go right to the left? So let's start here at 1, negative 5 and 0, negative 3. Well, to go from 1, negative 5 to 0, negative 3, I go up 2. So that's a positive 2. But then I move to the left 1. That's a negative 1. That's still equal to negative 2. And again, we have a straight line here, so it doesn't matter which 2 points we choose, we have the same slope. In this example, we want to see how we could find the slope from 2 points. So I don't have the coordinate plane, but I know 2 points that are on the same line. Here, I'm going to use this formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And for the sake of this problem for right now, I'm going to say my 7, 1 is my x1 and y1. and my negative 3, 4. That'll be my x2 and y2. But it really doesn't matter which way you label these. You'll get the same answer. So first I'm going to take y2 minus y1 in my numerator. Well, my y2 is negative 4 minus my y1, which is 1. In my denominator, it's x2 minus x1. And here's a really important point. If I chose negative 4 for my first number in the numerator, then I have to choose its corresponding coordinate, negative 3, as my first point in the denominator, and then negative 3 minus 7. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Negative 3 minus 7, negative 10. This is going to simplify down to positive, because negative over negative is positive, positive 1/2. And that's the slope of this line. But let's just see what would happen if we switched it around. Let's say you wanted negative 3 and negative 4 to be your x1 and your y1, and 7, 1 to be your x2, y2. Well, if I take 1 minus negative 4, that's my numerator, and 7 minus negative 3, that's my denominator. 1 minus negative 4 is 5. 7 minus negative 3 is 10. 5 over 10, still 1/2, still the same slope. And then some people, you know, they're visual people. Sometimes they like to draw out what they see here. So 7, 1 would be somewhere, let's just say over here. This is my 7, 1. And negative 3, negative 4, well, negative 3, negative 4 would be somewhere down here on my number line. What if I wanted to find the slope here? Well, to get from negative 4 to 1, you could see I'm going up 5. And to get from negative 3 to 7, I'm going to the right 10. That simplifies down to 1/2. Okay, here are some for you to practice on your own. Find the slope of the line shown here. All right, you could choose any points you want. I'm just going to choose 0, 2, and 1, 7. So to go from 2 all the way up to 7, I'm going up 5. So that's a positive 5. And then I just need to move to the right 1. So my slope is just positive 5 over 1. But you would get 5 as the slope if you chose any of the points here. All right, why don't you try this one? I'm going to choose the 2 middle points, but you could choose any points you want. So negative 4, 1, and negative 2, negative 2. When I look at this, I go down 3. So that's going to be a negative 3. And I go to the right 2. Going to the right is positive, so my slope is negative 3 over 2. Okay, how can you find the slope of a line going through these 2 points? I'm going to subtract 14. That's going to be my second y coordinate, minus 11. That'll be my first y coordinate. And since I chose 14 as my second y, then my second x coordinate has to be 12 minus 3. Well, 14 minus 11 is 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. I always simplify my slope. The slope of the line going through these 2 points is 1/3. So what is that saying? That's saying for this line, every time the line increases by 1 unit, it's going to go to the right by 3 units. Okay, last example here. I'll switch it up just to show it doesn't matter which way we go here. So I'm going to choose negative 8 to be my y2. That means my y1 is going to be 8. So negative 8 minus 8. Since negative 8 was my y2, the coordinate that's paired up with it, 9, has to be my x2. So 9 is the first number in my denominator. And then 3 is going to be the second number in my denominator. Negative 8 minus 8, that is a negative 16. 9 minus 3, that is 6. I want to simplify this fraction. Negative 16 over 6, I could divide both of these by 2. Negative 8 over 3, and it is okay to leave it as an improper. In fact, it's better, because now I know for this line to go from one point to the next, I'm going to go down 8, and then I'm going to go to the right 3 to get to the next point. And that's how we find slope.